Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Chit-Chat, where Julie and I are going to be answering questions on the IELTS Speaking Part 1 topics of travel and languages. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vanessa Allen, and I run IELTS preparation courses through IELTS Prep Egypt for students wishing to sit the IELTS exam. And in this Chit-Chat episode, Julie and I are going to be answering some of the questions that are given in part 1 of the speaking exam. And we just answer them in a very natural way. You'll be able to get some new vocabulary and see how we're just giving natural answers. Now, don't forget to watch until the end of the video for the question of the day. And I would love for you to be giving your comments and writing your answers in the comments section, either on Facebook or on YouTube. And I can interact with you, and so please make sure you watch to the end so you can get that question of the day. So let's get started. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hi Julie, how are you today?
I'm great, thanks Vanessa. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. How's everything in London?
It's good. The sunshine is out today. It's been a miserable week and we've had a lot of thunder and lightning. So it's been one of those weeks where I've just felt like staying in bed. But obviously I haven't.
Well, you've been staying at home because you're still sort of coming out of the lockdown. So
I know we are. Yeah, we are.
Hopefully you'll get back, or we'll all get back to normal at some point soon.
Yeah,
hopefully.
it's getting better, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's the news.
So today we're going to be talking about travel and languages. Travel is one of our favourite topics to be talking about.
No.
So let's get started. Do you like to travel?
I love to travel. I've been travelling since I was in my teens, and as much as I can, I like to see new places. So, yeah, I love to travel. Love it very much.
Yeah, same as me. I've always wanted to travel. Even when I was young, I always sort of had a dream of traveling around the world. And so far, I have traveled to quite a few places. There's a lot of countries I would still like to visit. But yes, travel for me it's a passion of mine. I love it. Unfortunately, I don't get to do it as often as I used to.
I know.
And what's the best place that you've traveled to?
That's a hard question because I've had some really great experiences, but I think my favourite place, and you know this, is Egypt.
Oh.
I absolutely love Egypt. I will never forget that first time that I came to Egypt, and it was with you, and we did a Nile cruise, and I was just blown away by everything that I saw. It was fascinating to me. So I really love Egypt, and I love the Egyptian people and the food. So yeah, I really love it.
You'll get a lot of love after people watch this video.
That's good.
Everybody in the comments, please write how much you appreciate Julie saying she loves Egypt.
No, I love Egypt.
Yeah, it is a beautiful country. Like you, it's difficult for me to choose one particular place because, you know, I think everywhere in the world is wonderful. I love Egypt. I love it so much that I moved here. But for me, I think it's a toss between Egypt and Morocco. I absolutely love Marrakesh. I could go back again and again and again. I never get bored with the place. There's so much going on there. You know, the sights, the sounds, the smells, they're just quite overwhelming, and it just, all your senses come alive. So definitely Marrakesh is a beautiful spot for me. But as I said, Egypt, well, you know, I'm here and I love it, and I never get bored with anything that happens here in Egypt.
No, I agree. Marrakesh is fantastic. Morocco is a lovely place to visit.
Yeah. And what countries would you like to visit that you haven't already been to?
Well, that's a tough one because it's a great big long list. But I've always wanted to go to Africa to see one of the safari parks. You know, to look at the big four: elephants, hippos, rhinoceros, leopards, lions. You know, I think that would be amazing. So maybe somewhere like Kenya or Tanzania to see the safari parks. I think that would be a real experience.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. I'd love to do that as well. It would just be amazing to sort of wake up in your chalet in the jungle and see an elephant just walking
Or a
in front
giraffe.
of you, or a giraffe nibbling on the trees. Yeah, it would be amazing. Not sure I'd like to see a lion though, but yes, it would be amazing.
A distance.
At a distance, exactly.
Not up close.
No. For me, I would like to go to India. You've been to India.
I love India.
But I wouldn't put it at the top of my bucket list. I really struggle to think of what would be at the top of that list because there's so many places. I've always wanted to go to Iceland, Greenland, like North Pole, South Pole, all of those less popular places, but I would love to go there. Scandinavian countries as well.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. Apparently it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'd love to see all the glaciers and the fjords and all of that. So possibly I would put that, I think, a little bit at the top of my bucket list, more so than India, but lots of wonderful places to visit. And when you were a child, did you go away on holidays or did you stay at home?
Well, we never went abroad. There were 7 of us, and we didn't have a lot of money, so we used to pile into the family car just after Christmas every year. We used to pile into the family car and drive about 1 hour down the coast to a beach town, and it was fabulous. I mean, it wasn't fancy or it wasn't posh, but we were all together as a family, and I have such great memories of that. And we were happy as long as we had the sunshine and the sea, and we could make sandcastles and just be kids, and we were all together, so it was great fun. But it was hardly very exotic, but it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Well, we did the same. We used to drive, it was a little bit further than an hour, but from Canberra we went to a place called Batemans Bay on the coast in New South Wales. And my memories of that place, I just have so many wonderful memories. And I can still smell the sea smell, and which you can't get these days. I don't know. The sea has changed. The smell's not quite the same anymore. But I just used to love that smell of the ocean and of the sand. It was really salty, that real salty smell. And I used to go and play with the other kids. I can still remember the place where the block of flats that we used to stay in, and just so many wonderful, wonderful memories. Like I didn't even know about traveling abroad. So, I didn't feel as if I was missing anything. We just went on holiday and we loved it every year. So, it's great to reminisce about it. And
I also remember, even though we didn't go as a family, we didn't go on holiday till January, I used to get excited about it from about June. And plan what I was going to take with me and think about the holiday. When you're a kid, things like that are so exciting. And I think you talk about the smell of the sea being different. And I think everything's different when you're a child and you're experiencing these things. But yeah, it's all good, isn't it? It's great to look back at those times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, we could talk for hours on travel, but we do have to move on. So let's move on and talk about languages.
Okay.
How many languages do you speak?
One. I speak English very well, hopefully. No, I speak words in other languages. I learned French at school until for about 3 years in high school. And so when I go and visit, say, Paris, I can find my way around okay. I can ask for directions. I can go into a shop and buy lunch without having to worry. I can buy a train ticket. But they're just words. If you put them all together into a sentence, I'm not very good at that. And also, if people are talking to me, if it's too fast, I only pick up certain words out of the sentence. But yeah, so then because of travel, I think I picked up a few words in a lot of different languages. But I really would like to learn more languages.
I'm the same. I speak one language, English. Well, sort of half. No, I wouldn't say half Arabic, maybe a quarter Arabic. So yeah, I'm like you. I've got words, but put it into a sentence, into a conversation, and it's really, really difficult. I'm quite lost. So yes, English for me. But we learnt French at school, and I really don't understand why. Australia, why did we learn French? Nobody's going to need it. It was quite ridiculous, but anyway, we did. We were forced to learn French for a few years. But to be honest, I can't really remember any of the words because I didn't really pay attention to it. I couldn't understand why we were learning it. So when I have been to France, it really didn't help me at all because I couldn't remember anything. And so you said that you'd like to learn some other languages. What languages would you like to learn?
Well, interestingly, I've just started trying to learn Arabic. And oh gosh, I'm terrible. So at the moment I'm just learning the alphabet, and it's not easy. It's difficult. It's because in English you have one letter, but in Arabic the letter changes depending on where it is in the sentence, whether it's at the start or in the middle or at the end of the sentence. So it's like learning 3 different characters for each of the letters, and all the accents and things like that they use with the letters. So I'm finding it quite hard, but we've been in lockdown, obviously, and so it's the perfect time, I think, to be focusing and concentrating on something like that. So maybe next time I see you, Vanessa, I'll be able to say something sensible in Arabic.
Your Arabic will probably be better than mine.
I know about 3 words now. Tomorrow, bukra. But the pronunciation for me also, I think, is quite difficult. I find it hard. That very guttural sound is difficult for me. So that will take a lot of practice, I think, to get that right.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly have no desire or inclination to be learning any other language because I'm struggling just to learn Arabic. So to then go and say I want to learn Russian or Chinese, forget it. It's not going to happen. Certainly not at the moment. So I have to master Arabic first, or at least get close to mastering Arabic first. I'm the same. I find that the sounds and the pronunciation, being able to pronounce it, is difficult. We're not used to having those sort of sounds, you know. But you were saying before about how the word changes depending on, with the grammar rules and everything with Arabic. This is why I find it so difficult to follow, because like in English, we'll say, I'm going to use the word window as the example. So we have window. If we want the plural, it's windows. We just add a little s on the end. It's not difficult. But in Arabic, the word for window is shubak. But for plural, it's shababik. I mean, come on. How difficult is that to figure out the grammar?
It's a whole new word.
It's a whole new word. So this is why I struggle with the language, because I just find it very, very confusing. And I'm sure there is a pattern to it all, and I don't know all the grammar rules. So once I study it, I will be able to hopefully pick it up a lot easier. But that's my problem. I'm not actually studying. So
they do say that it's harder to learn a language later in life. But if you learn it when you're very young, you can pick it up very easily. But yeah, we've always done things round the wrong way, Vanessa. We should have done this a lot sooner.
Exactly. But it's never too late. It's never too late.
Exactly.
And do you think that English is an easy language for people to learn?
I think that learning any language is going to be difficult, especially when you start. Like you said, there are some very simple rules with English, but there are always exceptions to those rules, and that's what makes it more difficult. I think, to be honest, I think learning any new language is always going to be a challenge, but you have to keep at it and keep going and practice and practice and practice.
Yeah.
And then you're fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I can't remember what it was like learning English because we just spoke it from birth. So, but the struggles that my students have, yes, I can understand. A lot of them pronunciation features are a big problem with many students, particularly when it comes to the TH sounds. I mean, we talked about this in a previous episode with the th. Instead of saying think, they say sink. Now, that is a big issue, because if you say I sink every day, that doesn't actually make sense. You know, to sink means to go in, like, into the bottom of the ocean, or the bottom of the pool, or the bottom of the water, to be fully immersed in the water. So I sink every day doesn't make sense. Or sink, the bathroom sink, the kitchen sink where we wash the dishes. So making sure that you do pronounce the letters correctly is very important. Otherwise, it can have a completely different meaning. So for a lot of my students, it's pronunciation that is difficult for them. And what do you find the hardest when you were learning French and you're learning Arabic? I mean, is there something that overall you find the hardest in learning?
Well, I mean, it's always hard, isn't it, when you're learning something new, because you have to keep at it and keep practicing. But I think for me, learning the words is easy enough. But it was like I said before, having the right grammar and vocabulary to put a sentence together, I think is hard. Making sure you get the start of it right and the linking words right, and that by the end of it, the sentence actually makes sense. I mean, using specific words, it's okay if you just want to say, you know, where is the railway station, for example, in French, où est la gare? It's easy enough because it's a very short question. But if you actually wanted to say something along the lines of, what road would I walk down to go to the railway station? I couldn't do that because there's far too many words in there.
Even the individual words, putting
them together is too much. I can't think that quickly. But you know, if you use language a lot, you have to almost think automatically about the sentences, what they say. You even start to dream sometimes in a different language if you're using it all the time. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I haven't experienced it, but
are you dreaming in Arabic yet?
No. I agree. That's one of the other things that a lot of learners of English have a problem with, and that's the grammar. Like you've just said, they might know the words, but then putting it into a sentence and using the language and the grammar in the correct way to show time. You know, is it present? Was it a past action? Is it a future action? All of these. Is it happening now? It can be quite difficult for them. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is something that I struggle with Arabic. It's trying to put it all together. And like you, my brain doesn't work that fast. So, and I think it's important to acknowledge that just because you might live in a country, you may not necessarily speak the language fluently. I'm a prime example of somebody who's living in an Arabic-speaking country, and my Arabic is terrible. Even though I'm immersed in the language on a daily basis, I'm still not speaking it fluently. And that's because I'm not practicing. I'm not actually learning. Sorry, not practicing. I'm not learning. I only have my words and I practice those words. I'm not learning the grammar. I'm not learning new vocabulary. So it just sort of stops. You only go so far. So I think it's really important for people to understand that you can learn and become fluent in a language without having to live in that country.
That's right.
It's not guaranteed.
Yeah. No, but, you know, it's all about practice, isn't it? I think keeping at it and keeping practicing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep at it, Vanessa. You'll get there.
I hope I get there one day. All right. Well, thank you very much for that conversation today.
You're welcome.
And everybody, please follow us on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. You'll see the links here. Also, don't forget the question of the day. Now, the question of the day, please write in the comments section your answers, because I'd love to read them. And the question is, what do you find the hardest about learning English? So type your answers into the comments section and join in the community conversation. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.